Today, we're gonna talk about how to save a ton of money on New York strips. Now, New York strips is one of my favorite steaks, so I'm really excited to break this thing down and show you how you can save a ton of money on New York strips. Let's talk about how we got here. I looked outside and it was a beautiful day outside. I really wanted to make a steak. I felt that steak kind of attitude, today is the day for steak. I went to a grocery store. I'm perusing around, everything's going great. I've got the steak in my mind, I can see it, I can smell it, I can hear the sizzle. But then I get to the steaks and I look at $16.99 a pound. Are you crazy? Are you kidding me? For a New York strip, prices have been getting crazy out there. And I wanna take time on this channel to show you guys how to save money. There are tweaks in the system in which you can go and find cheaper cuts of meat. When I saw that $16.99 a pound, I realized there has to be a better way. There has to be a cheaper way to do this. And the best way to do that is to buy a whole Primal cut right here. This is called a Primal cut. It's a strip loin. This is all New York strips. And it is considerably cheaper when you do it this way. I'm gonna show you how it's done. Let's go. Stay to the end of the video because I'm gonna be answering frequently asked questions about buying a strip loin in bulk. Can I freeze it? How long will it last in the refrigerator? Why would I wanna cut it up in the first place? I wanna answer all those questions for you at the end of the video. We're also gonna go over the reasons why you should buy in bulk and cut your own. We're gonna go over what to look for when you choose a pre-cut steak at the grocery store also. All right, so let's talk a little bit about some numbers. This steak that I got from the grocery store is a New York strip steak. It is $16.99 a pound. And when you buy it in bulk from Costco, this is a whole strip loin, it is running $9.19 a pound. We have a considerable value already. I'm gonna show you how to break this thing down. There's not a ton of waste on this New York strip. I'm gonna break down the numbers from this actual New York strip loin and show you how much money we saved. All right, so let's talk about the gear we're gonna need. As you've seen in some of my other videos, I use a 10-inch breaking knife. Now, if you're gonna do these big Primal cuts, you need a long blade to get all the way through, and this is a great knife to have. I also have come across a cool product, which I wanna share with you guys. This is not a sponsored video. I will have an affiliate link in the description, so I'll get a small commission if you buy one. But anyway, this is a very, very cool way to sharpen your knives. For a lot of people, sharpening your knives can be a daunting task. Do I have the exact right angle? Am I doing it correctly? Am I ruining my knife while doing it? You know, if I find a product that is really revolutionary, I really want to share it with you guys. This is actually a very cool system. I wish I would have thought of it. This part is a magnet that will hold your knife at the correct angle. If you have a long knife or a thick knife, you just prop this side up with a cutting board and it just rolls on the knife edge at a 20-degree angle. It has two sides, so it has a grinding side to really get it sharpened, and then it has like a honing side, just like if you're using a steel. It takes all the guesswork of sharpening your knives. This is a great product. So I've taken this out of the package, cleaned it up. Again, we're ready to get started. This is where we're gonna start cutting. You see, this is all strip steak. Now, on the other side, this is where the sirloin would be attached. If you look at this side, there is a big nodule here of top sirloin that runs a couple of inches into this side. So again, this is the one little bit of, I won't say waste because you can use the top. Again, the top sirloin is delicious, so you can use it. It's just not all New York strip. And as we cut down, once we get to the last part, you're gonna see that little eye of the sirloin get bigger and bigger and bigger. And at that point, that's where we're gonna stop cutting. So you could go ahead and take your knife and take off all this fat if you wanted to right now. I prefer, and for the new butchers out there, for the new home butchers out there, I would suggest you cut all the steaks first and then come back and trim. It's a little bit easier and you don't run the risk of hitting so much meat and cutting off meat that way. The good thing about doing this yourself is you can decide how thick you want it. I like mine about an inch, inch and a quarter, but if you wanted to do some bigger ones, you can. I quickly want to take a break real quick and show you what's happening here. There is a start of that sirloin right here. You can see this little bit of this little circle right here. And you can see as I cut the steak, Now that circle is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. For this steak, I would stop cutting this one right now. We're gonna talk about it more when I talk about how to select a New York strip in the store. It's good meat, it's just not New York strip. So right now, when you buy this from the grocery store, you're paying Primo dollars right here for a top sirloin, for half New York strip and half top sirloin. What you're gonna do is just take that fat cap and just make it to your own specifications. Usually it's about 1/4 of an inch or so, and you're just gonna take that fat cap down a little bit. On the bottom, there's a little bit of connective tissue, so we wanna take some of that down too, because it can be a little chewy. This is what we're looking for. Boom, there we go. Nice looking strip steak. After cutting it up, here's what we ended up with. We have 10 New York strip steaks, about 1.5 inches thick. I have about 1.5 pounds of trim. This is the fat and some of the other things we just cut off. What I'll do is I'll put it in a bag, I'll zip it up, I'll put it in the freezer, label it for grind. If I get enough trim, I will then break it all out, thaw it all out, and run it through the grinder. Now, for a piece that has the sirloin portion, we can do a lot of things with this. You can cut this into steaks. It makes a great steak. You can grind it, you can cut it up, you can braise it. If you grind this up and put it in your hamburgers, it makes an insane hamburger or insane chili. The flavor is so, so good. As you can see, we got a lot of different cuts out of here and a lot of different things to do with it. I encourage you to go to Costco, get you a whole New York strip and cut it yourself. I think you're gonna find that you're gonna get a better quality product and it's gonna be a whole lot cheaper also. I just want to reiterate the value of what we've done today. If you buy a New York strip in the grocery store, $16.99 a pound. If you buy a whole strip loin from Costco, $9.19 a pound. That is a tremendous savings. The whole strip loin was over 12 pounds. That is a lot of meat, and you're saving a ton of money. Now, I'm gonna break down all the numbers. I'm gonna put them in the description. For those of you math nerds who really wanna break it down, I will show you what I did. I will tell you how I got to the numbers that I got to. Check the description if you're a math nerd and you wanna know the numbers. You crunch all of these numbers, we're looking between $50 and $75 that we saved buying a whole strip loin, cutting it ourselves, and over the buying it at the grocery store pre-cut. The prices in your area will vary. Meat prices differ from region to region across the country, but the proportions of savings should be the same. Have the ability and the knowledge now to confidently go buy a strip loin from Costco, cut it up into individual steaks, and get the most value for your money. So people ask a lot in the comments, why should I do this myself when I can just go into the grocery store and buy one just the same? It's not the same. I picked this up at a local grocery store and I want to bust it open and show you how not the same it is. First of all, you can see how there is a huge piece of top sirloin right there. Okay, this is right out of the grocery store package. They just went and cut the whole thing up. You're paying, what do we say, $16.99 a pound? Look how big that top sirloin is in relation to the New York strip. You're getting a little tiny little New York strip right there. This is really more top sirloin than it is New York strip. You're getting scammed with this one. You can go to the grocery store and buy food confidently. You're like, oh, I had these great New York strips. I put them on the grill and they were chewy. The reason they're chewy is because this is all top sirloin. Butchers behaving badly. This is not what you should be purchasing. I want to make sure you are equipped with the knowledge so that you do not pay your hard-earned money for things that are not what they say they are. Let's talk about some frequently asked questions. I've done several of these videos where I take a whole primal cut and cut them into individual steaks. The biggest question I get is, what am I gonna do with all this meat? I have a family of 4, or I have a family of 2. What am I gonna do with this? Now, how do I store it? You can easily store this meat in the refrigerator in a Ziploc bag in a single layer for about 2 to 3 days before it starts to discolor. Now, you can vacuum seal these steaks and get even more of a shelf life from them. If you take that vacuum seal package and put it in the freezer, yes, you can freeze steaks as long as there's not, oxygen is not your friend. So as long as all the oxygen is taken out, you can store a vacuum seal steak in the freezer for over a year with little loss in quality. Another question I always get is, why am I doing all this? Why am I going through all of this effort? Not only do you save money, control is the reason that we do this. I can totally control the quality of the meat, the size of the cuts, how much fat is on it, how much fat I want to take off, I want to leave on. Everyone has a different preference. So the reason we go to all this trouble is to have control over our meat. It really is so many benefits to doing this yourself as long as you're willing to work a little bit for it. This money savings and utilization of all these cuts of meat, it all costs time. Costs time and you save money. That's how it works. Please check us out on Patreon. We have a new Patreon page. Check us out. I'm gonna put a link in the description. Also, I have several videos about how to break down a beef tenderloin and a ribeye. Those videos are available on my channel. I'm gonna link to them right here. So go ahead and check those out. We'll see you on the next one.